break because we will have on the line with us right now the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. Hi, Nick. How are you today?
Hey, Angela.
Well, we're all absorbing the news right now about Jalen Hurts. Nick, what can you tell us?
Yeah, he sprained his shoulder. You guys heard that part of it. Obviously, he sprained his shoulder. He's attacking his rehab right now. We'll see what happens this week. We'll see, and it's not something we've deemed to be long term, but we'll see how it goes out this week and see what happens this week and if he'll be able to go at Dallas.
Nick, was it the play late in the third quarter where he was landed out real hard and he got up very slowly? Is that the play where it happened?
Yeah, that was the one. So yeah, that one right there, the zone read play. They gave us a pull read, and Jalen took it, and the guy that came down the line of scrimmage and gave us the read actually did a pretty nice job of retracking right there. We couldn't get the safety pin to get to the outside because he jumped outside last second. Zach Pascal did a nice job of blocking him, but we thought that ball would hit outside and ended up hitting back inside, and the guy retraced and made a good play.
Nick, any indication for the rest of the game that there was anything wrong with Jalen?
He is a tough son of a gun. Oh man. When he doesn't normally stay down, so you need something like, he's down a little bit, then he got up and the very next play he threw a stop route to Devontae on the sideline, and everyone's like, woo, all right, here we go. And he's so tough. I can't say enough good things about the competitive spirit of this guy. And how tough he is. Like, we've been talking about that. I mean, that's why the first thing you get when you ask about Jalen Hurts is you talk about his leadership, you talk about his toughness. And he was in pain and he played through it. And so no real indication because he didn't really say anything, and he just went about his business and played through it. I mean, that's toughness. He's not only mentally tough, he's physically tough, and that's what you want from your leader on your football team.
Hey, Nick, the city is verklempt. We're upset, and we're upset because as the game was being played under very adverse weather conditions, wind and cold, against basically a low-ranked run defense, you never ran for 24 minutes with your best running back, Miles Sanders. Can you explain why?
Yeah, they devoted a lot of efforts to the run game and a lot of efforts to, they were doing some things that they had normally done from a too-high shell. They were doing it out of a closed shell, and giving us one-on-ones. And I think the indication of the games that AJ and Devontae had kind of showed you, like, hey, I mean, I know what they're ranked in the run game, but if a team wants to say, I'm going all in and you're going to have to throw to beat us, that's what some teams are going to do. And we're lucky enough that we're able to be balanced and to be able to adjust and say, okay, you're doing that, we're going to do this. And AJ had 181 yards, Devontae had 126 yards. So we had a pretty good, if they played the style that they were playing, we knew that we could hurt them on the outside. Now we let some things go early as far as missed some opportunities and didn't get them in some right plays. We didn't put them in a good position to make plays here and there. But we threw the crap out of it because we knew that we had an advantage, and I think that showed throughout the game. Our players of the game, the players don't know this yet, but our players of the game are Devontae and AJ.
Oh, they were phenomenal. And look, you're 13-1, Nick. No matter what we're complaining about, you're 13-1. But we're all concerned that you didn't run Miles Sanders at all. You ran Quez Watkins before you ran Miles Sanders. Are you aware of that in the game while it's happening? Are you in communication with Shane where you go, Shane, we got to get the ball to 26 a few times here? What's going on?
Of course, and we need to get just some more called runs to him early. Now, here's what's happening too. Like with some of these zone reads, one of the reasons Miles does a great job is having such a good year. It's multiple reasons, right? First and foremost, Miles is having a great year because Miles is having a great year. Secondly, he plays behind an unbelievable offensive line, and there's no dispute to that. And thirdly is that Jalen Hurts has such a I was always taught you win games on the front side, you win big games on the back side, right? And so what does that mean? Well, the pursuit's coming from the backside, and you got to find ways to slow it down. And our way to slow it down is Jalen Hurts, because they know at any time that he can pull the ball. And so, a big part of our reason for the success in the run game is that threat. Now, they forced us to keep it a couple times, right? I think we're averaging. I know we had zone reads called. It wasn't design quarterback runs. We didn't come out there and say, hey, this is a design quarterback run. We had a couple checks that we got to. The one touchdown was a check that we got to. And then, but everything else was like, hey, zone read. Why? They called the backside. Oh, you gave us a pull read? Good. We feel good about that option of it too. And so, that's a big part of success of our offense is that zone read ability. And now sometimes you give it and sometimes you don't. And I think in that game we had 7, zone reads that he had to pull. On the year, as we look at it, we always keep track of it. We're averaging about 4.5 called zone reads a game, right? And so, and I know everyone's going to say, well, he carried it 70 times. Well, 2 of them were kneel downs. They count kneel downs. I'm not really sure why, but, if you're just looking at the numbers and the stats, and, we have more kneel downs than everybody else this year, which is a good thing, right? That's the best formation in football, best play in football.
We love kneel downs, yes.
Yeah, and then the quarterback sneak, which has been tremendously successful for us, is another one that we feel that he's very safe on, and because the guys taking the hit on the quarterback sneak is Kelsey and Isaac and Landon. They're the ones taking the hit there, and they're just paving the way for Jalen. And then you have scrambles. So really we're averaging about 4.5 quarterback runs a game, and we had a couple more than that because of the way they kind of and it's not quarterback runs, it's zone reads, but we had a couple more that we pulled because of the way they were playing. But going back to your question, we have to have some that are just for Miles that we don't read, and we got to get them called earlier. And so I take 100% responsibility that Miles didn't have those, and and we need to do that for him because he's one of our really good players. And so and that's what we'll do, and we got to do a better job of that part of it.
Hey, Nick, you don't have to answer this next question, but you got me thinking this when I was talking to you last week about your father. You said he always gives you feedback. Did he give you feedback after this game, and if so, what did he say?
He said, "You're from Buffalo, New York, bro. What? You cold? Take that coat off." That's what he said to me.
Really?
Yeah, I said, Dad, it was cold. He said, you grew up in that. You were born in that. You know what it's like to be in that. And he said, you look cold. I said, it was cold. So I'll shed the jacket next time in a cold game because my dad told me to.
I had this thing thinking that he was telling you to run the ball. What do I know? Nick, let me ask you about Gardner Minshew because it sounds like he's going to get a chance to play here. Is he ready for it?
Oh, of course. This guy is a great, backup quarterback that could be starting on teams in this league, and we know that, and we're very fortunate to have him. What makes a guy a really good backup quarterback, with him, it's that he doesn't need a lot of reps, that he's ready to go because of the football IQ that he has, the intelligence that he has, that he's ready to roll when his number's called. Now we give a lot of reps to our backups in general during practice, so he's gotten a lot of great reps, and we're if he has to go, we know we'll have 100% confidence in him because he can ball. I think he proved that last year. I think he's proved that throughout his career. Every time I look at his career numbers, I'm just so impressed. I think I read something that he was like 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That he's a winner. He's a winner, and that's all he knows how to do.
All right, if he, let's say, wins on Christmas Eve and you clinched everything you're going to clinch, and then Hurts is okay to play, does he still sit, Nick, because the games don't have any bearing on the outcome? You already got the bye. How are you going to handle that if he's ready?
We'll always think with player safety in mind, but that's a bridge that we don't have to cross yet. So I'm not going to cross that. So quite yet, but we'll have a plan, and we'll see what works out best. We'll do whatever in the best interest to for our football team.
All right, and my last thing, and I only ask this because really from a mathematical point of view, you're still in good shape. Is Saturday's game still very important to you on Christmas Eve in Dallas?
Against Dallas and Christmas Eve? Come on now.
Yeah, it was. I know it was stupid.
You know it is. You know it is.
I got it, Nick. Thank you for your answers today.